only have 1 day left. Silent cheer. You're almost a first grader. So exciting. So this week, since it's our last week of school, remember, we're doing fun camp activities. So yesterday, we made our own camp shirts, we picked a camp name, and we even made ice cream in a bag. So today, we're gonna do some more fun camp activities. The first activity we're gonna do is make camp jewelry using macaroni noodles and some paint, and I'll show you how to do it. The second part of my video is gonna be about how you can use a pool noodle to create a fun activity and game that you could play with other people or by yourself. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's go over the supplies we need for this activity. So here I have some liquid watercolored paints. Okay, and I have green, and I have turquoise, and I have magenta today. But whatever colors you have are fine. And the reason you want to use the liquid watercolor paint is because you're going to get really nice vibrant color on your macaroni noodles because they're kind of already that tannish yellow color. So if you use something like food coloring, it's going to kind of soak in there and make the noodles a little bit squishy, and they won't really change color. So you have to use liquid watercolor paints, which you can find at Joann's or Michael's, some craft store. And then we have our little macaroni noodles. Okay, so little macaroni noodles, like this size. And then, because they have holes in it, so you need to use something with a hole. And then I have 3 bowls because I'm using 3 different colors. So I'm gonna put some noodles in each bowl, and then I'm gonna add my liquid watercolor. Then to make your bracelet or your necklace or whatever you're gonna make, you have to have some kind of string. So this is my plastic coated string that I'm going to use to make a bracelet. And very important, gloves. So you want to use gloves because otherwise your hands are going to be dyed a certain color and it'll stay like that for a few days. You might think it's fun if you're a kid, but if you're a grown up and you're walking around with magenta hands, you might look a little silly. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some noodles to a bowl. That looks pretty good. And I want to do the same amount for each because I want around the same amount of each color. But if you have a favorite color, maybe you want to make an all magenta bracelet, you can just pour a lot of macaroni noodles in that bowl. Okay, that's good. Clean up my mess here. Now this is a good job for a grown-up, but kids can watch. It's really fun to see the colors change of the macaroni noodles. So the first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use green. And notice I'm wearing my camp shirt because if I get a little bit of paint on my camp shirt, it's okay. It's a camp shirt. So you might get dirty in it, you might get wet, who knows? Okay, so I'm gonna start and I'm gonna come closer so you can take a look. This is the color of our noodles. And then I'm gonna start by adding a few drops of my green watercolor paint in there. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna use my fingers to mix the color in the bowl. And I like using liquid watercolors because it seems to not take as long to dry. I don't know why. I don't know if it just absorbs better. Ooh, I like this color. So I'm making, it's kind of like a lime greenish, that's pretty green actually, green color. Okay, so now I'm gonna try the next one. I'm gonna let this dry, it needs to dry before we try to make a necklace or a bracelet. Next is magenta. Ooh, I forgot, I have a green hand. Hold on, I'm gonna rinse my hands. Okay, so I cleaned my hands and I grabbed some paper towels while I was at it, just in case I need some quick cleanup, okay? So here's our green macaroni noodles. They're already starting to dry. Dry a little bit faster if they're in a bowl or if you flatten them out on a paper plate or a ceramic plate even, it'll wash off later. Now I'm gonna use my magenta watercolored paints to color these. So remember, this is the color of our macaroni noodles, that tannish yellow color. And I'm just gonna add 3, 4, 5, a little squirt in there. It's kind of hard to measure it. I just usually eyeball it until I get the color I really want. So now I'm going to use my hand to mix it up. Remember, use gloves, otherwise your hands are going to be all colored. Gloves are hard to come by right now, so I understand that too. Ooh. This is a nice color. Actually, I think I grabbed red. Oh, it's red. I thought I had magenta, but this is a very nice red color. Okay, let's take a look at our red. So we have green and we have red. And we're gonna do one final color. Let me wipe my hands so that I don't get that red in there. If I get the red mixed in with the next color, it could turn brown or a different color. So this is the turquoise. Have our noodles in there. I'm just gonna add a squirt and mix it up, mix it up. Oh, don't get too crazy. And just wanna make sure that your macaroni noodles are coated in color. Okay, so take a look at that one. Pretty turquoise color. So it really doesn't take that long for the noodles to dry. So I'm gonna take a little break and come back in about 10 minutes. Another thing I wanted parents to know, if you ever wanna make your own sensory table at home or a sensory bin using something like white rice, you can use the same method to create different colored rice. So just the watercolor paint is what works best. All right, see you in 10 minutes. Okay, while we're waiting for our noodles to get nice and dry, I thought we could start working on the next activity. But before I do, we need to check on Flippy, Floppy, and Ted. It's been a while since they've eaten anything.
Food, yummy, I can't believe tomorrow's the last day of school. Oh my God, let's share, let's share.
Such great fish. Okay, in our next activity, I'm gonna show you some different things you can do with a single pool noodle. And these guys are everywhere right now. You can find them at the dollar store or at any other big store. So if you can, and if your parents don't mind, maybe they can buy you one pool noodle for this activity. So we're gonna use a pool noodle, scissors, some tape, and a marble. But you can even use a toy car in one of these activities. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step in this activity is actually cutting the pool noodle. So you need a parent's help for this or a grown-up to help you with this, okay? So what we wanna do is we wanna cut the pool noodle long ways or lengthwise to make it nice and long. And we're gonna have to cut it on both sides. So I'm gonna take my big grown-up scissors and I'm gonna start from the hole at the bottom and I'm gonna try my best to cut a straight line. You can also use a Sharpie to make your line ahead of time, which I could have done, maybe I should have done, but I'm just gonna cut, and you have to be really careful. Remember, you have to be safe with scissors, just like if you had a knife, you have to be really careful because you could get hurt, so you wanna be really careful. All right, so I'm gonna keep cutting this and I'll check back in with you in just a minute. Okay, I carefully cut my pool noodle into 2 pieces. This is what the inside of the pool noodle looks like. There's this little crevice in the center, and it's perfect for marble races. So that's what we're gonna try. So you need to have a marble, or if you don't have it, something that could roll down this thin space. Sometimes you have small cars that would work, or a bouncy ball. So we're gonna try a marble. And this is fun because you can play with it and you can think about why a marble goes faster as you tip its course higher. What happens when you leave it flat like this? Will it go anywhere? There's lots of fun learning that happens when you do an activity like this. So one fun thing you can do, you can use some pillows or an old box and you can set up a big platform for your pool noodle to rest on. Then If you're playing with your brother, your sister, your parents, you can have races. So you can both let your marble go at the same time and see whose makes it to the finish line first. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm gonna set up a little course for us. Okay, I decided to prop up my pool noodle tracks, race tracks, using the couch this time. So I have one here for my opponent and one for myself. So when I invite someone out to come play with me, they can use that track and I can use this track to race. So let's see what happens when I put a marble in it.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa, it went so fast and so far, it ran into the pillow. So what happens if I take a pillow and I set it underneath? I wonder if it'll slow it down or speed it up. Thinking of the force of motion here.
3, 2, 1.
Right into the pillow. You could even make a little target, or you can line up some Lego guys or some sort of toy to see if your marble can knock them over. So there's a lot of fun activities you can do with just a pool noodle. So now I'm going to show you another activity you can do, but it requires cutting the pool noodle into smaller sections. So when you do that, if you ever want to put it back together like this, you would have to use some tape. So you might want to just decide to maybe cut one side of the pool noodle and keep the other one for the racetrack. All right, so let's see the next one. Okay, so I have my 2 pool noodle race tracks, and I'm going to save one side because I really like playing the racing game, the racetrack game, and I don't want to cut it. So I'm going to set one aside, and then I'm going to cut the other pool noodle into a few pieces, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the pieces to the wall in different directions, and then I'm going to see if I can get the marble to fall into those sections and land down on the carpet. It's going to be like a maze. Actually, in the classroom, we have a game that we play sometimes on our special group together days where we use the whiteboards. Do you remember the standing whiteboards? And we put the gears in and they go down. That's what we're going to try to create here, something similar. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I think I want to try to get 4 pieces out of this pool noodle. So here's one piece. Remember, if you're using the grown-up scissors, ask a grown-up to do the cutting. 2. Ooh, maybe I'll try to get 5 pieces. 3. And now I'm going to cut this one in half as best I can. 4, 5. Okay, and now I'm going to take one of my pieces and I'm going to try taping it to the wall. And I'm going to try using this duct tape to see if I can get it to hold up. I'm going to take a big piece here. And I'm going to, actually, let me try it this way first. I don't think this tape's gonna hold up as well as my frog tape, but we'll see. So I'm just rolling the tape and I'm putting it on the back side between the pool noodle and the wall, okay? And again, you have to ask your parents if you can do this, because if you put tape on the wall, sometimes it's hard to get off, so you have to ask first if you're allowed to do it. And it's holding up okay. Let's test it out though. Let me see if it's strong enough. I'm gonna put a marble in. Let's see if the tape holds the pool noodle strongly enough. It works. Okay, so I'm gonna keep trying to tape up a few pool noodles, but first let me test that again and see where it drops. It goes really fast, so I might want to put my next piece here to catch it. Okay, so I want it to act almost like a cup or a catcher's mitt. It's gonna catch it and then it's gonna roll it down the other direction. Okay, so let me try it again. This is my duct tape, which I really like to use frog tape too when I'm using a tape on the walls, because it doesn't take paint off or leave a sticky glue behind. So I'm going to put the 2 pieces on. I rolled up the tape again. And I'm going to go a little bit above this pool noodle, right where it looks like it's going to block the marble from flying off track. Now let's try it. Here's my marble again. Start at the top. And I'm going to drop it in 3, 2, 1. It worked. So I'm gonna keep building my track, so check back in 2 minutes. Okay, I finished my obstacle course. This is my marble obstacle course. And here's the end of my track. The marble's gonna come out here, hopefully, if I built a track that's going to catch it every time it falls down, okay? And remember, when I start the marble up here, it's gonna gain momentum and speed as it rolls down, because this pool noodle is at a diagonal angle here, which means that it's on an incline. So anything that slides down, sort of like if you went sledding in the snow, you're gonna get more and more speed as you go down, okay? So it's gonna roll down quickly. We don't want it to roll off the pool noodle. We want it to roll all the way down into our cup, which is the landing zone. So let's see if it worked. Let's see if we designed a course that's going to catch our marble. Okay, here's the marble. It's gonna go at the top.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, let's try it again. 3,
2, 1.
oh no. So that means, let me move out my pool noodle a little bit. See if I can catch it. You might have to do that. It's just like being a construction worker or a designer. You have to try it out, test it out like a scientist.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, almost. One more try. See if I can catch it. Don't be afraid to change it up. Improve your design.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, so keep trying. It's so much fun to try it. I really am determined to get it one time. Let me see. One last try. Yes, we did it. We made a great design. So once you're done with this activity, you can actually, if you don't want to keep it separated in pieces, you can tape the pieces back together to try to make one long track again. Okay, or if you don't want to do the racetrack, you can make an even bigger wall design or obstacle course for your marble or your car. All right, I hope you have fun with this activity. Now it's time to check on our macaroni noodles for jewelry making. Okay, I checked on our macaroni noodles and they are dry and ready for us to make a bracelet or a necklace. And I know earlier I showed you some kind of string for your bracelet or your necklace, but what works really well too is a pipe cleaner. So you can use a pipe cleaner to put the macaroni noodles on and then wrap it around your wrist to make a bracelet. Okay, so I'm gonna take these supplies outside because it's such a beautiful sunny day and I'm gonna start making a bracelet. Okay, here we are outside and I'm gonna start making my bracelet. So I'm gonna decide what kind of pattern I want first. I can do one of each color, like an ABC pattern, or I can do an ABC pattern. It's up to you. Or you could just go for it and not have a pattern at all. It's up to you. So I'm just gonna make mine nice and colorful. Okay? And that's it. So you just keep stringing along your macaroni noodles. Oh, and the good thing about using a pipe cleaner is if you accidentally drop it, all the noodles or beads don't fall off. Okay, and remember, you can do the same activity using beads or pony beads if you have them, which I just wanted to show you a fun way to create your own colorful beads at home, using macaroni no less. So I'm gonna finish my bracelet and then I'll show you the finished product in just a minute. Okay, I finished my bracelet and you can see I did an ABC pattern. So green, red, blue, green, red, turquoise. Green, red, turquoise, green, red, turquoise, green, red, turquoise. What comes next? Green, red, turquoise. And then I took the two ends and I put them together and I wanted to measure my wrist to make sure that my bracelet's not too big or too small. And I think I made it just right. So then I'm gonna take the two ends of my pipe cleaner and I'm gonna cross them to make an X. And then I'm going to twist, 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 okay? And then you might still have a little bit at the end to twist till you want it to kind of become one piece again. And then you just wrap it underneath to the side so it doesn't get pokey. And that's it. Now you have some fun camp jewelry. All right, that's the end of my episode today. Check back later for more fun activities. Bye.